One episode of Sittin Courtside today is technically it's St. Patrick's Day, guys. Hence why I'm wearing green. You can't tell though because it looks like it's black. Worst
Yeah.
sighting in the world. So we're gonna really say it's Tuesday, March 18th. We are 2 days out from March Madness, best time of the year, and it's been everything you could have hoped for, guys. The last 26 weeks ish has been amazing. We've had tears, we've had upsets, we've had thrillers, we've also had collusion and corruption, which is somewhere we don't want to be right now in college basketball. We have to call it out, though. It's
Yeah,
the hottest.
definitely.
No one cares anymore about the tournament. We're just talking about how there's collusion afoot.
Yes, definitely. And of course, it happens with the team I hate the most, and all of the nation in North Carolina. Absolutely ridiculous. If you have not figured out how they got in, just go on Twitter. It's very obvious. The committee
I
chair is their AD. So,
I only want to say this, then we can go on to the brackets because I think people care about the bracket. When one of the biggest names in like college basketball media is doing a show of brackets and someone says North Carolina will be in the playing game and they turn and they go, "You're joking, right? Like this is
oh,
you're playing a joke on me, right?"
yeah.
Like that's when you know it's bad.
Yeah, it's really impossible to get past the 1-12 in the quad one and everything that team deserves to be.
I had to say it. I just had to say it. But yes, let's get into the games. I love the games. All for the games.
Yep. So we're going to be going through a bracket just like we do every year. We'll go region by region. We're going to move the ones already ahead so that we don't have to preview those 1 versus 16 matchups. If there is a two that you don't want to move ahead, call it out as we go through here. But I went ahead and moved all of my twos as well. I will not be taking up an upset for one or the two seeds in the first round. But we'll start in the South region, top left of your bracket. So we had Auburn move on. The first game we'll touch on here is Louisville versus Creighton. I thought Louisville absolutely massively under appreciated. Of course, they just get no credit, barely get a better seed than Creighton, even though they have I think 10 more quad one and quad two wins than Creighton. So I'm going to easily take Louisville, which is essentially a home game here for them against Creighton because it is in Kentucky as well.
They're the biggest, I think. I don't want to say my biggest gripe, but instantly I was like, what is going on?
Mm,
Especially after you saw Clemson got a five. Like
yeah.
in the rankings, they literally are 3 spots apart. Louisville actually finished ahead of them in the ACC, are
Mm,
3 spots back. The only thing I can think of in some messed up world is that they forgot about Louisville for a moment and were like, crap, what do we do? Well, we
yeah.
have nothing better. Let's at least let them play a home game in Lexington.
Yeah.
No sense. Like literally, there was a tweet on this. It went all the way back to 2012. The highest seed anyone has ever gotten as a 13th ranked team in the country going into conference tournament is a four. Not
Wow.
even an eight.
That's and they got an eight.
All you
Not
need
even
to know.
close.
All you need to know. I'm also taking Louisville. I do think it's a really terrible matchup for
Yep.
Louisville because Creighton, kind of one of the hottest teams in the country, right up there with like a BYU. But
Yep.
I'm going to believe in the metrics. I'm going to believe in Ken Palm. I'm going to believe in the schedule that they have. They're a quality basketball team, and I think that they can play fast and slow. Creighton's got to kind of get it going, otherwise they're in trouble. So I'll take the Cards.
Right, moving on to the next one, we got the 5 seed Michigan against the 12 seed UC San Diego. I know you were big on UC Irvine and San Diego this year. Are you going to have them taking an upset here over Michigan?
Okay, I'm going to say this now. Everything in my being wants to take UC San Diego.
Uh,
I actually think they're going to be like the hottest upset
yeah,
pick in the entire tournament. What everyone is missing that's a casual is that UC San Diego is not tall. If there is something there is a weakness of them, it is that if you have a good number five, you will give them fits. Michigan has a good number five. They actually have a few good big men. And
mhm.
because the public is going to be so heavy on UC San Diego, I'm going to do the gross thing and take Michigan. I'm even going to take Michigan betting. I actually think there's going to be so much money coming on UC San Diego. We could see the line completely flip. It did open at -2.5, by the way, for anyone keeping track. So I'm taking Michigan.
All right. So I thought the same thing. I was like, this seems so obvious, but I did so much research on this game yesterday when it came out, and I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it. Probably the chalk of it. Everyone else is going to call for the 12 over here, but 5 games in like 8 days for Michigan. They play at this game won't tip off till after 10 p.m. Eastern time. So it's time that they're used to play UC San Diego. So I'm going to stick with them, but I do think it'll be a very obvious or very popular pick
I will
for
say this. this will be the one game I'll be the least upset about if I lose, and
Hmm.
I'll instantly flip that and want UC San Diego in the Sweet 16.
Yep, I completely
Like
agree.
if people are like, "Whoa, how did you flip all of a sudden?" You've been warned. Like
Yeah.
I'm be the least emotional about this one if it is a loss because really it's a win for me after all the lead I've had for that
Yeah,
conference.
definitely. Next up, we got 4 seed Texas A&M, 13 seed Yale. Again, Texas A&M, we've talked about them all year. Very hard to figure out, but I think this matchup is actually pretty decent for them because Yale won't score a ton of points against A&M. So I'm going to go with A&M to get the first round win here.
So I want to call everyone back to about 3 episodes ago. We talked about Texas A&M and M and if we were worried or not. And one of the teams I said I'd be concerned about them playing is Yale.
Yep.
You're playing Yale. I also, though, the reason we didn't record this last night is I wanted to actually give thorough research, as Kyle kind
Mhm.
of called out here. Yale is everything Texas A&M destroys.
Yep.
This is just a made for money Texas A&M game. I hate it. It's gross. I want to throw up. I don't want to take A&M, but I'll take A&M as a now current chalk bracket forms itself.
It seems like we
As
always
much as I
start out
wanted
this
to take
way.
Yale, I honestly in my brain I was like, I don't care who Yale plays. I'm going to move them ahead, but I can't after the
Yep.
research I did.
I completely agree. Next up, Ole Miss against the winner of North Carolina, San Diego State. Who do you like here in this one?
So Ole Miss is one of the teams I remember I said was a little bit of those like just move them to the Sweet 16 or one of those weird teams. I
Hmm.
think they actually got really good matchups here. I don't care who they play. San Diego State not really playing great here down the stretch, and North Carolina shouldn't be in the tournament. So give me Ole Miss.
Yep, completely agree. This one didn't even have to really do much research on. We know these teams pretty well. Iowa State at Lips or against Lipscomb here on a Friday. I think pretty easy here for Iowa State, so I move.
Yeah, I'm going to take Iowa State, and I actually have some more thoughts on them, but I'm going to wait till the next round.
Okay, sounds good. This matchup, don't like it at all. 7 seed versus 10 seed Marquette, who's not hot right now. New Mexico, you know how I think about New Mexico with just couldn't figure them out most of the year. Who do you like in the 7-10 matchup?
This is a really tough pick for me, man. This is really tough because I do like both teams. I'm going to do the gross thing. I'm going to take New Mexico. I think
Okay.
Marquette, like, they're like a worse A&M for me. Honestly, we just haven't talked about them as much. They get
Mm,
kind of a bad location for them. They've not really played well. I do think they'll have the best player on the floor, but New
mm.
Mexico likes to run, and that's kind of what Marquette is going to want to do. So they're basically just worse at what New Mexico's good at. So I will take the Lobos.
Yeah. Yeah, just to kind of give a little more to like I said that Marquette's not playing very well right now. Lost 3 of their last 4 games. Were just 3-3 in their last 6. Just I think it was 5-6 in their last 11. So they're just not in a peak form right now headed into the tournament. I'm gonna still stick with Marquette just because I've not really bought the New Mexico team all year, but I am very worried about this game, and I will not be like taking whoever I have winning this game past this next round because I don't know who's even going to win this one. I'll take Marquette, but not very confident in it. Not strong behind them. All right, go back up to the top of the South region. We both have Auburn, Louisville. That is just not a good matchup for Louisville. I'll take Auburn.
Yeah, I'm going to take Auburn as well. Just this is maybe the worst possible game for them because Auburn is exactly Louisville, but like 10 times better.
I was about to say, just a ton times better. Yeah. All right, I have UC San Diego versus Texas A&M in this round. I'm going to take Texas A&M here just because I'm still a little bit scared of that matchup for San Diego, so I don't want to just have them in the Sweet 16 and instantly lose in the first day of the bracket. So I'll take A&M here just to get the
Yeah.
Sweet 16.
I'm going to keep things gross. I think everyone's going to fade Michigan with everything you just said, and I don't think people are believers in Dusty May.
No.
Dusty May's been here before. He's done it before. I'm going to take Michigan in a game where I just think they're the better coached, more disciplined team. Nothing
Mm,
against Buzz and A&M. They're just too sporadic to figure out more than one win in the tournament.
yeah. Next up, we have the 6 seed Ole Miss versus Iowa State. I love the matchup for Ole Miss in the first round. I hate this matchup in the second round for Ole Miss, so I'm going to go with Iowa State here.
Yeah, as much as I hate this, I want to take Ole Miss badly, but Iowa State, honestly, when you look at everything, all the metrics, they're one of those. I sent you the text.
Hmm.
I kind of had to like illegally take them out because technically no team has lost by more than 20 points since January 1st and ever won a championship ever in the history of college basketball. They
Okay.
technically did not lose by 20 in any games. They just lost by 19.
No, okay.
That's just scream that they could be easily a championship team, a Final Four team. So I have to take Iowa State just on like principle because I am trying to win something here.
Yeah.
I'll take Iowa State, even though like I mean I'd love to take Ole Miss, but just can't.
And for those that didn't watch the full BYU game, Iowa State was down two out of their five starters. They are supposed to get both of them back for the tournament, but might be something you want to check before filling out your bracket completely to any update on those injuries. So, next up, I have Marquette versus Michigan State. You have New Mexico versus Michigan State, and as I said, I'm not comfortable at all in the first round matchup, so I'm taking Michigan State here.
I'm going to take Michigan State as well, but I'm going to go back one just because I want to give them some love. Bryant is a tremendous team. I would not be shocked if they're within 10 in that game against.
Okay, I like that
Yeah,
call.
I'll take Michigan State going forward.
Okay. So at the top of the South region, I have Auburn versus Texas A&M, and if this matchup happens, not worried about it at all for Auburn. I will take Auburn.
Yeah, I have Auburn, Michigan. I'm taking Auburn as well. That's a no-brainer, honestly, at that point.
All right, who do you got like in Iowa State versus Michigan State?
Iowa State, Michigan State. I'm going to say this right now. My heart says Iowa State. They seem like the better basketball team. My pocket, which you all are aware of, needs Michigan State. So now I'm in a weird position where, like, do I hedge?
Uh,
Because I'm trying to win some big bucks here. But Michigan, January, February, Izzo, April, May, I'm going to take the Sparties in that, which will be a tremendous game.
it
Honestly,
will.
it's going to be who can have the last possession.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. I really hope we get to see this one. I'm also going to take Sparty as well. I just think they're so hot right now. They lost to Wisconsin by three, but they had that game. They were winning in that game. They just kind of blew it, and then like the 9 games before that they won. They're a really good team right now, and I don't want to overreact to just one loss in the Big Ten tournament. So I'm
Also,
going to take Michigan State.
Fanta came out and said that Michigan State, I think, was the only team in the last 25 years to have won like double-digit games in conference by less than 5 points.
Oh, really?
I
Wow.
tried to pull that out as like they could lose. If you win
Yeah.
that many games within two
Yeah.
three possessions, you're a quality basketball team, and I trust you to win a game when it's down
Yeah.
to one possession, not the inverse, which
Yeah.
is just another big one for anyone that's like, I don't know, guys. Like they're gonna win games when it comes down to one possession.
Yep. I like that. I like that for sure. All right. So I think we both have Auburn versus Michigan State.
Yep.
And this, who do you got going to the Final Four from this
I don't
region?
trust Auburn. They've been playing terrible in the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna take Michigan State.
All right, I'm going to go Oppo. Best team all season, and they've struggled here recently, but I cannot forget about the other 5 months of this season. So
Yeah. By the way, for anyone that's new to this is literally the first time we look at brackets. I
yeah,
don't. That was a straight heart pick.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yes. All right, let's move it down to the West region where Florida is the one seed that we have moving forward. This next matchup, I didn't want to take UConn at all going into the tournament, but they gave them like the team that I hate probably the most in the entire bracket besides North Carolina. I think Oklahoma is just not a very good team anymore. I'll take UConn here.
I think that's going to be the chalk pick of the world. So I'm going to do gross things. I'm going to take Oklahoma.
Okay.
I do different things if you want to win brackets, guys. You got to do different things.
All right, here I think it was probably the highest or the team that got like I think Memphis it shouldn't be a 5 seed. I think they were overranked here. So this is a 5-12 that I really like Colorado State in this matchup. They're hot right now, and I'm just not a Memphis fan, so I'm going to take Colorado State to get the upset here.
I have not liked Memphis all year. For anyone that's not been paying attention, I basically fade them at all times. I'm trying to even find them in the Ken Palm. Where are they even rated in the Ken Palm? I can't even. What?
Memphis.
I literally can't find them in the top 50. They're 51.
Wow.
Colorado State 42. That's all you need to know. Take the metrics. I'm taking Colorado State.
Wow. 51 and you get a 5 seed. What in the world? All right. Next up, Maryland versus Grand Canyon. Do you think Scott Drew can get the upset here, or is Maryland going to move forward?
I think the Crab Five are amazing. I think they're playing quality basketball. It kind of sucks for Grant. Like every year,
Yeah.
Grand Canyon comes in, they're going to be really exciting. But I actually think this is not one of his better basketball teams he's had the last few years. And
Yeah.
Maryland, freshman of the year in the Big Ten's their best player on the team. Honestly, I'd take Maryland.
Yeah. I'd definitely go with Maryland here. I I loved what I saw from Maryland in the Big Ten tournament, even though they didn't win it. I still was very impressed by that team, so I'll keep them to move forward here. All right. 6 seed Missouri, 11 seed Drake. Do you think Drake gets the upset here, or does Missouri move on?
I mean, this is hell. This is absolute hell.
We have talked so much about these two teams the last like three podcasts. Of course, they put them together.
Everything tells me Drake, 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 but Missouri, I think, is just too quality of a basketball team. I'm going to take Missouri. Again, one of those. I'm not going to be upset if I lose that. They just Drake feels like another one. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, I know that team. I need upsets. So just give me Drake."
So I'm going to go with Drake over Missouri. Missouri finished the season 1-4 in their last 5 games, 2-6 in their last 8 games. I just don't like their form currently. They struggled against Mississippi State, good Mississippi State team, but then was absolutely blown out by Florida. So I will take Drake and their experience to move forward here. All right, Texas Tech guns up versus UNC Wilmington. Any shot at a upset here?
I mean, do I need to say more?
No, you definitely do not.
Texas.
Yep, I'm definitely going Texas Tech here. Okay, in one of the ugliest matchups here. Two
This game's
teams just,
not exist. Can we just like pretend that these two teams don't play?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean this with everything we say. They could take these two teams out and give me like West Virginia UCI, and I'd rather watch that game than this.
1000%. Yep, and the two teams we're talking about, Kansas, Arkansas, 7-10 matchup. Just, it's an ugly, ugly matchup. Neither team playing well right now. Who do you like here?
So Arkansas is getting one of their better players back. I do have to admit that. Calipari and Patino facing off would be
Uh,
hilarious, honestly. Like people say it's gonna be awesome because of like the history. It'd be hilarious too. Um, I just think Kansas honestly is Arkansas with more experience. I'll take whoever Kansas is. Like that just because I guess out of just I have to pick someone.
I think this Kansas team is pretty much given up. They should have lost that game to UCF in the first round of the Big 12 tournament. It went into overtime and they blew a huge lead. I just don't think they have any interest in playing. So I'm going to take Arkansas, even though I don't think they're very good, anyways.
No heart, you think?
No, I don't think so.
I,
I think,
honestly, I'm gonna say this right now. The way the wheels have fallen off that wagon,
yeah.
I would not be shocked if like there's a weird like mutual Bill Self you need to leave. Like you
Uh-huh. I completely agree. He's either going to be the next like longtime head coach that just retires, or he decides to go back to his alma mater or something. I think they're
I
just
thought
done.
Kansas was his alma mater.
Oklahoma State.
What?
Yep, yep,
You might as well take that job.
yeah, yeah. All right, so back up to the top of the West. I think you had Oklahoma versus Florida, and I have Florida UConn. This Florida team is playing phenomenal right now. They are just a covering machine, so I will take them easily to win
I'm gonna
here.
say this now. Thank God we were in on them so early based on just ridiculous 3 seasons of fandom and just we're like they're gonna be good, they're gonna be good. They
Uh-huh.
are humming.
Yes, they really are.
The one thing I hate though is how many of the experts keep picking them to win the title.
Uh-huh.
I hate it. I just,
Yeah.
but yeah, Florida.
For my next matchup, I have Colorado State versus Maryland. I love how Colorado State's playing right now, but I think Maryland's just the more talented team, so I'll take them to make it to the Sweet 16.
I'm gonna take the Crab Five. Honestly, they are literally playing their best basketball right now. And Colorado State actually I think has won 9 in a row as well.
Yep.
Also playing very good, but like Maryland is just a different skill level compared to Colorado State. I think their defense honestly is going to do a lot to eliminate the three for Colorado.
Mhm.
So yeah, Crab Five moving ahead.
Next up, I have Drake versus Texas Tech. You have Missouri versus Texas Tech. Guns up, still moving forward.
Yeah, I'm going to say it now. I think Texas Tech might actually be one of the best teams in the entire country that is not getting the love. They shouldn't have got a 3. They should have got a 2. Easily moving them ahead. I think they actually win that game by double digits. I don't care who they play.
Yep. I have them versus Drake, and I will easily move Texas Tech forward too. Arkansas, St. John's. I think we both said enough in the analysis of Kansas, Arkansas, moving St. John's forward.
Yeah, I don't even know who St. John's is playing. So yeah, take it.
All right. This is hottest team in the nation versus a team that you like a lot. Who do you like in Florida, Maryland?
Florida was here first. I'm sorry, Maryland. I'll take Florida.
Okay. Yep, I will definitely also move Florida along. And then I really think this is a tough matchup for Texas Tech against a really good defensive St. John's team that does struggle to score though from time to time. Who do you like here?
So you just said it for me. Both these teams are very sound defensive teams, but there is one team that knows how to score the basketball and one that can get wildly out of control, and I think that's going to hurt them. I do have a future on St. John's to make the Final Four. So
Yep.
similar to the Michigan State thing, I can hedge here or just keep following it and hope. I'm taking Texas Tech, though. They scored the basketball. Same thing essentially I just said with Florida. They were here first. Always guns up. It's on the screen. So yeah,
Yeah, I gotta take Texas Tech here. They're only two losses in the last like month are to Houston and Arizona, and there's nothing wrong with those losses. I think the Big 12 was a harder gauntlet than the Big East was, so I actually think these two teams should be swapped in their seeding, but I'll take Texas Tech.
yeah. Also, Texas Tech is the only team to beat Houston at Houston, and I think the only team to beat Houston in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
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 So,
All right, so we both got Florida, Texas Tech. Who do you like to move on to the Final Four?
I've already been weird and took Michigan State. Historically speaking, there's going to be more ones. Um, so I think, I mean, you have to take Florida, but I'm not everyone, so give me Texas Tech.
Okay, I like it. I like it. I just now knowing that I already have Auburn, and we know what I'm going to take out of the East. I can't go with 3-1 seeds, so I will also go with you on Texas Tech here and ride with guns up. I like it. All
We're
right, we move it.
going along here, man. This is going much faster than I thought.
I know, right? All right, we'll move it up to the East. Duke, one seed, move it forward. Mississippi State versus Baylor.
This
Who do
is
you
a
like?
disgusting game.
It
A
is so.
disgusting game. I don't even know. Like, are these teams even should they even be? I do like Mississippi State a little bit, but like this is just where are we at in the Ken Palm? I'm letting Ken Palm decide this one for me.
That's really fun.
Golly, are they even on the Wofford's
Uh,
down 20? That's too bad.
Baylor's 3 spots ahead of Mississippi State.
All right, there you go. I'll take Baylor.
All right. I have been avoiding Baylor for before even the Big 12 started. I don't like them at all, so I will take Mississippi State here. All right. Oregon as the 5 seed against the 12 seed. Liberty. I kind of liked Liberty coming into this one. I thought they might be a sneaky team to pull off the upset, but all of my research I did last week for Oregon in the Big Ten tournament made me realize how good Dana Altman is in March. So I'm just going to take Oregon here
Yeah,
based on the
actually,
coach.
Oregon is like if they weren't playing Duke, honestly, they were a sneaky Final Four team. Like
Mhm.
they played very sound basketball. Liberty, though, they're going to give them a run here. Don't be shocked if Liberty's up at the half, but I'll take Oregon as well. I think they're a better team.
So this is, of course,
This
the
is
team I
the
didn't
worst
want to.
I've ever
Yeah,
seen, man. I
it
saw
really
this
is.
and laughed.
Yeah, I was like, when this happened, I was like, this couldn't be worse. And of course, they put these two teams in the Duke region. So Arizona versus Akron. I wanted to take Akron because they're super hot. They haven't lost in forever in the MAC. But if you guys have listened to any of the podcasts this year, I've been so in on Arizona. So giving me my two teams that weren't going to be a top 1 or 2 seed, Arizona and Oregon facing in the second round, which just breaks my heart.
Yeah. Um, will this game eclipse 200 points?
It'll definitely get up there, that's for sure. It definitely has a chance.
I'll take Arizona though.
All right, another team absolutely on fire right now on offense, BYU versus VCU. And again, another matchup where I wanted to take VCU and I want to take BYU wherever they're in. They end
Yeah.
up being in the same bracket. So I'm just going to go with what I've seen recently from BYU's offense. I don't know if anybody's shooting the ball better than them right now, so I'll take BYU here.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean they got dismantled by Houston, who again top five,
Yeah.
4-3 team in the country.
Yeah.
And I already said it early in the first portion of that. Defense does win championships, but offense wins games in March. So I'll take BYU. They're the better offense.
And VCU, while they're a very good, great defensive team, they sometimes just forget how to score for long stretches at a time.
Oh
So
yeah, 100%. Well, what was it I was reading? There's something like VCU. If like they don't make the Sweet 16, will have like the lowest like points per game allowed to not make the Sweet 16 in like the history of college basketball. It was
Okay.
something ridiculous.
And just for note for their Ken Palm, they're 30th and got an 11 seed. What was it? Memphis 51 and got a
Yeah,
5
it's
seed.
ridiculous. It made no
Yeah.
sense. And I love that people are trying to make a case like, oh, this is definitely why Memphis. No, Memphis
No.
stinks.
No. All right, Wisconsin, Montana. Wisconsin also one of those teams that this will be like their fifth game in the last 8 days since they made it to the Big Ten tournament. Wisconsin's just got a lot of offensive talent. I don't think Montana can keep up with them. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't. This is going to be one of those games I think everyone forgets exists, and Wisconsin wins by like 40.
Yeah. All right, next up we got a team that we talked about a lot this season, St. Mary's as a 7 seed, and a team we didn't really talk anything about, Vanderbilt as a 10. Who do you like here?
Give me St. Mary's. We talked about them 2 weeks ago. Like they should have been a team that actually was in discussion for a 3 or 4 seed. If you look at
Mm,
everything they did, you have to take St. Mary's.
yep. Yep, and just forget that you ever watched that game against Gonzaga where they couldn't shoot to save their lives. Just forget about that game when you pick this team. I will also go St. Mary's. All right, so that leaves me with Duke and Mississippi State at the top. I think you have Duke and Baylor. I'm moving Duke without much analysis.
Don't even
Just
need to do anything
yeah.
this week.
So
Oh, by the way, clearly Cooper Flag is playing. Like he was
yeah.
jumping around on the bench. Like that was a there couldn't have been a more obvious like we're just not going to play him because why?
They're like there was no point. They already had the ones like a 1 seed locked up, and they already were more talented than every other ACC team. So yeah, I'm definitely not worried about him playing in the first. Well, like, even if it's not against their first round opponent, if it's just by the time they play Mississippi State, I think it'll be fun.
That's fair.
All right, really hate this matchup because one of these teams will have to play Duke then, and then I'll be like terrified. But Oregon versus Arizona, who do you like?
I clicked Oregon, but I'm already debating it. I'm already debating like, do I actually think Oregon can win that basketball game? I don't know. I kind of want to like I. All right, you know what? We ride as a podcast. I have to ride. I'll take Arizona.
I'm going to pick Arizona here for my bracket and all of my brackets, but I'm going to be rooting for Oregon from the Duke perspective. I'm going to
I
be,
was like,
yeah,
what?
yeah, because I don't want to have to play Arizona in the Sweet 16. I think that's just probably the toughest Sweet 16 matchup for any of the 1 seeds. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking Arizona will beat Oregon. I just don't like the matchup in the next round. All right, BYU Wisconsin. There is going to be points here in this game. Who do you like, BYU versus Wisconsin?
I'm gonna take BYU. I kind of have been a mediocre BYU fan for a few years now. I wouldn't say like top of my list by any means, but they are just playing tremendous basketball. And Wisconsin, they struggled to put the ball in the hole the last 3 minutes of that game against Michigan, and that's basically the game they're going to have to play for 40 minutes.
Yep.
So I will take BYU.
Out of all the top seeds, I think Wisconsin got absolutely screwed the most in like
Oh,
their schedule and like playing out in the West Coast now. So this is going to be a road game for them. They have to play early Thursday. So again, that'll be their fifth game in 8 days. They already looked tired in that Big Ten tournament championship. I'm going to also take BYU here because I just think Wisconsin's running out of gas.
let's go.
Alabama, St. Mary's, any upset here, or are you going to move Bama
Um,
forward?
Give me Bama. I don't think St. Mary's can keep up with that. However, do we know about Mark Sears? What's going on with him?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that they lost Nelson as well.
That's
So
a problem because
yeah,
St. Mary's will definitely put pressure on them, and
yeah, for sure.
they obviously can shut down good point guards. They played Nimhard 3 times this year.
Yeah, they certainly did. Yeah, it looks like Sears is good to go, but they don't have an update on
Nelson,
the Nelson, the big guy.
I still think Bama will win that game. I
I
don't.
still
I will tell you right now. I might actually be rooting for St. Mary's
mm,
just because. But for anyone that also remembers, I also have an Alabama Final Four future that was preseason. So
yeah. All right, so I think we have the same Elite Eight teams here with Duke versus Arizona, BYU versus Alabama. Any chance that you got Arizona pulling off the upset here?
that's a Duke. That's a Duke. That's Duke. That's Duke.
Yeah, definitely putting Duke as well. Can BYU's miracle run keep going and get them to
I think at
the
this point I've done enough dumb stuff in my bracket. I'm gonna just do the chalk and take Alabama.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking
Okay.
Alabama as well. And obviously, I'm I'm picking Duke to make it to the Final Four. Who you going with here?
Yeah, I think I've told you before. Duke, literally the only thing keeping them out metrically is their strength of schedule, and that's because the ACC was just terrible. So I'll take Duke.
Yep. All right, we'll move it down to the Midwest where we got Houston as the 1 seed moving forward.
Yeah, and
This
this next game is just the. This is tough.
I had no interest when knowing that Gonzaga was going to make it, picking them to win the first round. But then they got Georgia, who I have no like. I don't trust Georgia at all. So I'll take the Ken Palm Darling and Gonzaga here.
The crazy part is Georgia has beat really good teams in the SEC, but the problem is now I'm in that weird state of are they a good basketball team or they were just within proximity of really good basketball teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Uh-huh.
every squirrel finds a nut, kind of thing. Like eventually they had to be good basketball teams if they played good ones every night.
hmm 4-11 against quad one teams. Four and
Yes,
11.
for them. And they were all like top five teams probably. Anyway, I'll
Oh,
take Gonzaga as much as I hate it.
we have been the anti-Gonzaga
I just don't.
podcast, and yeah,
They're not good. They have everything to be awesome. I will say that, which should be scary for Houston. They do have everything to be awesome, and they're everything they're not.
yeah,
They're annoying to watch.
they are. All right, I actually love this matchup, Clemson versus McNeese. Everyone knows I'm not a Clemson guy this year, haven't been, not really ever. So I'm going to take McNeese to get a huge upset here.
I don't think Clemson's a real basketball school. I've said that publicly many times. Um, Metric wise, though, like they should win this game, actually, like pretty easily. And McNeese will have been shut down again for what could have been a darling run.
Mhm.
Um, I think people are going to be too high on trying to find the 512, and we might just not really get a lot of that. So I'm going to take Clemson because I technically have already had, I think, two big upsets in my bracket. And really, we're only going to have four in the first round anyway. So I'll take Clemson.
All right, just for those that don't know too much about McNeese, their last, oh, they have one loss since December 22nd. They did play Alabama and Mississippi State early on in the year, so have got to play against a couple good teams. They lost to Alabama by 8 and Mississippi State by 3, both of those away games. So they have some battle tested, but obviously their conference very bad. A lot of
And
teams outside the.
back up for a moment. They also have the old Baylor coach, right? That like is actually awesome. I forget his name.
Yep. Give me just a
Got
second.
in trouble because he was breaking rules that are now legal.
Will Wade. Yep.
Will Wade.
LSU. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
Oh, LSU. Never mind. I don't know
Yep.
why. Yes, Will Wade.
And did you go with Clemson or McNeese here?
I
Who did
went
you
with
go?
Clemson as much as I
Okay.
did.
All right. A team absolutely floundering right now. Purdue as the 4 seed against the 13 point or 13 seed High Point. I can't say I've watched any High Point this year, but do you like the upset or no?
I've seen a couple people acting like this is a terrible matchup for Purdue. I also cannot say I've watched a
Okay.
point. Um, Purdue has been known to lose in the first round when they're not supposed to, and they're not playing exactly
They
super
certainly
well.
no, they're playing
Um,
awful right now.
I will take them on the fact that I haven't watched High Point, and I can't imagine Purdue will lose a first round game. And because I need to have points in this bracket, so
Yeah.
I will. Take,
High Point does enter this game on a 15-game win streak, so they definitely are confident going in against Purdue. I will also take Purdue though here. I don't know if I'd be able to sleep at my house tonight if I picked High Point to pull off the upset. All right, Illinois versus the winner of Texas Xavier in the first round. I don't like any of these three teams per se. Xavier's been getting better at the end of the year, but I don't think their resume was really good enough to even get them in the tournament.
Max.
So I'm gonna go with Illinois, just kind of because they're the most talented of the three teams.
Yeah, I'm going to take Illinois. They have the talent to make a run, but they just haven't been. They haven't figured it out for 2 months now. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on, but to your point, that's going to be a gross game at 9:45 that people are going to have to suffer through and watch. But I'll
Yeah.
take.
Yeah, and it's like I gotta remember there was an Illinois team that got absolutely smoked by like 50 points by Duke. I can't forget that team still exists as well. So
Deep down somewhere, they do exist.
yeah. All right, Kentucky versus Troy. I'm moving Kentucky on.
Yeah, I'm taking Kentucky as well.
All right, UCLA versus Utah State. Who do you like here? I know you're usually a Cronin person, so are you gonna
Yeah,
go
I
with
do
them?
like Cronin, but man, Utah State. they're falling right in that realm now of Auburn. Like had everything, and they've not been doing super well here down the stretch. Cronin's going to have them ready to play, but we got to have upsets somewhere, right? Like somewhere, somehow. And usually UCLA was figuring it out at home.
Uh-huh.
I will take Utah State just because I need to have a little something exciting happen in the first round at this point.
Yeah. Utah State, why they haven't been playing great in the last few games, all their losses recently are to Colorado State or New Mexico. So as long as they don't have to play those two teams, it seems like they'll be okay. I'm also going to take Utah State here. I don't trust that UCLA offense very well, and I think if Utah State gets up early, it'll be hard for UCLA to get back into the game. So,
Utah State also are they? UCLA is 27th in the Ken Pom. That is
yeah.
what?
Yeah, 52 to 27 in Kim Pom rankings here.
Wow, that's making me question everything. But I'm still taking Utah State.
Utah State's got the 17th best offense in the nation, 149th defense.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, points win in March. I said that.
Yeah.
Let me
All
back
right,
you.
we'll move it back. Move it back up to the top here. Houston, Gonzaga. No way, no how. I'm picking Gonzaga to win this
I'm
one.
picking
I'm picking
Houston. I
Houston.
actually think way too many people are going to take if Gonzaga wins that first round game. The spread's going to come out, and way too many people are going to take Gonzaga to cover the spread. This game's not close.
Yeah. Uh,
Houston's played this team, aka like any way you want to dice it up in the Big 12, and they murder them.
yeah. Yeah.
Murder them. They're going to shut them down. They're experience. They have everything to shut down Gonzaga. This is a game people will sweat. I'm not even sweating it.
Yeah. Literally one loss since November 31st, and that was an overtime loss to Texas Tech. That is the only blemish in the last 3 months or 4 months or whatever it's
I don't
been.
think
So,
literally. I think for since Christmas.
yeah.
Dang.
The last loss, November 30th, was literally their last loss
Dang,
besides that
even more.
Texas setback. So, yeah. All right. I got McNeese versus Purdue here. I'm going to go with Purdue here because that Clemson, I already have McNeese getting one upset. That's a lot of upsets to bank on McNeese, who I've watched twice all season. So I'm going to go with Purdue to get the win here.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the grossest games you will watch. Um, but I can't sit here. I'm sorry, Maggie, and pretend that Purdue was a good team. And Clemson is the only team that's even been remotely close to pretending to be a good Duke team when they're healthy.
Uh, yeah.
Uh, I will take Clemson, even though they're not a real basketball school.
Okay. Okay. I understand the pick for sure. I definitely understand it. Do we need to take a break real quick
Yep, we're
here?
going to take a break, guys, real quick, and we will see you in now.
All right, we're back with Illinois versus Kentucky as the 3-6 matchup for in the Midwest. I'm not buying what Illinois is selling for more than a game. I will go with Kentucky here.
This this feels like a trap. Feels like a trap. Illinois, if they're humming, can be a better version of
Mhm.
Kentucky than Kentucky. Kentucky, however, if they're healthy, maybe a top four team in the country.
Mhm.
I'm going to take the cheese. I'll take Kentucky.
All
You're
right,
just
move it down.
I'm just
Yeah, I was like, is he really going to go with Illinois? I know he liked him early in the year, but they've kind of fallen a bit here. So, all right, Utah State, Tennessee. I don't think I'm even going to think about this one for too long and go with Tennessee on this one.
yeah, I just don't look and take Tennessee.
All right, I got Houston versus Purdue. You have Houston versus Clemson. Who do you like here?
You take Houston. Clemson's not a real basketball school. Just take Houston.
Houston by a mile in this matchup if it actually does happen. Um, Kentucky versus Tennessee. I think this is the biggest gap from 2 to 3 seed. I think Tennessee is much better than Kentucky. I don't know how many times they played. Let's see how many times they played this year.
Twice, I think Tennessee won both games.
Yep, that is correct. Yeah, and I'm not worried about it for a third game. I'll go with Tennessee.
I actually think you nailed it around the head. There's not been a larger gap between a two and a three matchup if you look at it on paper.
Mhm.
Tennessee is just so much more efficient with the basketball. Kentucky literally will go spurts and never score. I don't have to worry about that with Tennessee. I'll take the Vols.
All right, an absolutely great matchup here. Houston versus Tennessee to make it to the Final Four. Who do you like?
I'm going to take Houston.
Houston.
I think they're just more experienced, better coach, better team. Tennessee, they got beat by 40 against the Florida team that I don't even have in my Final Four.
Mhm.
I'll take Houston.
Yeah, I think Houston is the better team. I think they have the better coach. I don't really like this matchup at all for Tennessee. Like I would have liked Tennessee going up against a more heavy offensive team as like the 1-2 matchups for them, but I think this is a really bad matchup, and Houston has won me so much money over the last 3 months that I'm going to stick with them.
There.
All right, so let's give a recap here. Who is your current Final Four?
Final Four on the left side, if you're looking at a normal bracket, I have
Yeah.
Michigan State, Texas Tech, and on the right, I have the real national championship game, Duke versus Houston.
Yeah, exactly. I went complete chalk. I have Auburn, Texas Tech, Duke, Houston. The only chalk
You're
I didn't
such a
do was
loser.
Texas Tech. So
I don't actually know what I will stick to this. Even if it was all chalk, if actual chalk happens, I
Mhm.
still think Duke Houston is the real national title game.
I completely agree. Just I think the top three all year, like Houston, Duke, Auburn, kind of like separated themselves. Then Florida came in as Auburn kind of fell back,
Yeah.
but Duke and Houston have been there all year. So I think that is all. But Auburn versus Texas Tech, I will take Auburn to win that one just because I think Auburn was the better team for most of the season. And I already went out on a limb here taking Texas Tech this far when I'm not even the big fan of them. So
Yeah, I have Michigan State, Texas Tech. They actually are right there, 7-8 in the Ken Palm. When in doubt, trust Ken. I'll take Michigan State to go to the title game and for quite the payday to happen. This is the
uh,
grossest I've felt in a really long time. Michigan State in a national title game,
yeah.
in an actual bracket that I filled out.
And then we got Duke Houston. I don't think there's really any drama for me to like really pull out on this one. So obviously going to go with Duke here for me.
Yeah. I didn't, I'm not a quitter. I had Houston to win the national title to start the year. I will move them ahead.
And for those that recall, we always get together for the Final Four game. And if I have to go through yet another Duke loss when we go to these travels, I hope this be another disaster.
Yeah, I
So
don't know. Like, I will say this, and I've said it before. Duke can lose if Duke is in the Final Four and they lose. That nothing in a bajillion years will ever compare to them losing
yeah,
in
no,
Coach K's last year to North Carolina. Like
yeah,
the mood in that setting could not have been wiped out faster.
it couldn't. Nothing will ever suck that much.
Yeah.
So my title game, Duke Auburn, could have predicted this back in November. You could have went with this, and obviously I'm going with Duke here. So
Yeah. I'm going to take Houston to win the national title. I'm going to go with 70. This is going to be a just not great game, I think, actually. It's going to be like 74-57
oh
to
yeah,
go with as the final. What's that as a total? Help me out here, people with math. That's 100 and
39, right? You
no,
say 72-57, 72-57.
or 74-57 gets
Oh,
you
okay.
141.
Yep.
141 is the total.
And I literally had this before you even like started going off on the actual score you thought. I put 142 in it. So we were right on the same page. So,
Great. Okay, let's go.
yes.
But who do you have winning the whole thing? Duke?
Yeah,
No.
Duke, definitely. Yep.
What's
Duke
the
winning it.
final? 142 points. That's
Yeah, we'll just go 72-70. Have ourselves one hell of a national championship.
wow. That would be. I mean, I'm not gonna be upset about that. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bracket has been submitted, and I hate it.
Uh,
Can I redo it already?
I know. I was about to say I don't like mine at all either. It's
I
like way
always
too
end up though
chalky.
hating everything about it.
Yeah.
Hating. Also, interesting enough, when you do that on ESPN, it's like, oh, hey, your champions, Houston. Do you want to bet them? No, I don't.
Yeah. Uh, I do that plenty on my own. I don't need you helping me. But everyone, go join our bracket challenge. It's at Sittin Courtside on ESPN. I'll be tweeting about it, trying to get as many people in our challenge as possible. Again, the winner gets swag. Um, and we'll be back next week, obviously, with podcast recapping the first games and giving a preview for the Sweet 16 in Elite Eight. Is there anything else you want to give the listeners before they go fill out their brackets?
We have no punishment determined if we can get 100 people in the bracket.
We do not.
I
But right now,
have nothing good to give you, so we'll just say, you know what? If we get to 100, if someone just drops what they think it should be, we'll go with that.
yep, I like that. I think that's a
I've
great
ran out of
idea.
ideas. I'm not going to do a food challenge. I'm not going to like make Kyle get a bird.
Yeah.
I have nothing left here for you.
Yeah. And a quick update on our picks for the season.
Oh, me. I don't
Um,
know what it is.
okay. Well, I am 390, 335, and 7 on the season. Had a rough Sunday, so it brought it down under 54%, but at 53.76% right now.
I can tell you. So for anyone that hasn't noticed, not normal background, been driving. I did not put in like anything. I think on Saturday or Sunday. If I did Saturday, it was a pretty small card.
Okay.
Had to be small. So we're gonna pretend that probably what's up here is within a quarter of a percent.
Okay.
So I'm 177, 163, and 5, maybe slightly different, but 52%. I can say probably pretty confident, unless Kyle absolutely shits the bed. He's probably got this wrapped up.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a lot of like it only looks like a 1.7%, but that's with how many picks we have, the percentages don't change
Yeah,
very
like
quickly.
literally, like that's why I was saying, like we have so many picks at this point that Kyle would have to basically go like 0 and 30, and I have to
Mm,
win like 20 in a row even to get it within range.
yeah.
So
Yeah, well, best of luck in all your brackets, guys. Thanks so much for listening this year. We'll be back, obviously, for the preview of the Sweet 16 Elite Eight next week. But this is always our favorite podcast. Love going through the brackets, just not even looking really into it, just filling it out on the podcast. Always my favorite time. Best of luck, and check us out on Twitter for all of our picks throughout the weekend.
love you guys.